Hey guys, welcome back to We Met at Acme. I'm so excited to be here with the Boys Lie co-founders, Tori and Leah.
Yay. Hi. I'm stoked.
You guys are like sunshine, truly.
Leah looks more like sunshine than I do. I swear I'm like paler than most of the New Yorkers out here. I need to go back to my tanning bed addiction.
So, I need to like start my tanning bed addiction. But before we get into all the questions, and I'm going to ask your favorite romantic gestures, it was your birthday last night, Tori.
It was. I turned 30.
Huge.
So excited.
So you're a Taurus.
Yes.
So what are you, Leah?
Gemini.
Oh.
My birthday is next month. So she's the 28th, I'm the 24th, but I'm just May 24th. She was yesterday.
Very wild.
April 28th.
Wait, I love that combo. This is so crazy, but there's so many Taurus Gemini couples in my life.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I think that it is a very shadily good match. Not that you guys are a couple, but if you ever decided to be, it would probably work.
I mean, that's my work wife. So makes sense.
Exactly. I love that. Also, you're born on the 28th, so am I.
Oh,
And
hell yeah.
2-8 is a power number.
Love
Yeah.
that.
2-4 probably is too, but 2-8.
Yeah. You guys
I'm
are special.
I hear that too about house numbers. Like depending on the house or the apartment that you live in, if you add up all the digits, it's supposed to be like your number and you can look up which one it is.
Interesting.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like your building number plus your apartment number?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
I-
just your apartment number.
just your apartment. What
I'm
if
pretty
it's-
sure.
What if it's like 6?
That's what it's supposed to be like
Oh.
lower. Yeah.
Okay.
Like mine right now is 10, which is crazy because the 28th is also 10 and it's supposed to be like
Right.
a work drive driven type
Oh,
of.
that is
Interesting.
wild. That's so like
Prophecy,
feng
I
shui.
don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I love that.
Very niche.
Totally. But my point is that thank you for like coming in after celebrating an insane.
Oh my God, I'm so
Yeah.
stoked.
milestone.
What better way to celebrate?
I know. Seriously, I think I celebrated a little bit too hard.
Yeah, you guys, Leah might take a time out and throw up at one point
Yeah.
in this
If
podcast recording.
if I throw up and it's the first ever time, then you know what? Maybe we'll get some views.
It's good luck.
Oh, definitely. Exactly. And also this episode is officially sponsored by Zofran.
Yes.
Which is
Love
cutting
that.
Leah
Yeah.
through this. So before we get into everything, what is your favorite romantic gesture? Whoever wants to start can just take it away.
I personally really love like affection. Like, and I know that sounds so silly and so small, but I really love it when like someone will go, like my boyfriend will go like out of his way to like hold my hand or like give me a hug when I'm not asking for one. I feel like in my previous relationship, I always had to be like, can you give me a hug? And like I felt annoying, but I really love affection. And that to me is a small romantic gesture that I love.
I love that.
I love that too. Mine's more like small little like care moments. Michael does a lot for me. Like he'll randomly be like, do you need a coffee? I'm gonna go get that for you. And I know that sounds so silly also, but it's just the fact that he cares so much about my comfortability. Like I am obsessed with that. Last night he did something really cute too. He had his mom's engagement ring made into this necklace that I'm wearing today. And I like literally sobbed
Yeah,
at the
she was.
table like a
And I'm like,
crybaby.
I know,
Just
I'm
being
feeling
that is the
emotional.
Sweetest.
Now I'm gonna cry.
thing.
That's so cute. What made him want to do it?
Elaine, who's his mom,
Yeah.
he was just like, she wanted something that kind of showed my parents' love and like brought it into our lives. So that's why I had this made for you because, you know, you have the ring that I got you. And I thought it was something different that you could just wear around your neck to represent
That's really
that.
so sweet. What made him choose that ring like instead of the ring that he chose? You know what I'm saying?
I think it's because I knew kind of the ring that I wanted. And I was
Right.
like, I love this. Wow, this is a
Mhm.
gorgeous like emerald
Yeah,
cut
different
engagement
shape.
ring.
Mhm.
And
AK, you were saying like, don't use that other
Yeah,
one.
well,
I'm just kidding.
I didn't even know what hers looked
Right,
like, to
right,
be
right.
honest. So I was
Mhm.
just like, I love this. And he just got what I loved.
Yeah, that's really, really beautiful. And is his mom like still around?
Yeah.
And she was like so into that?
She was so into it. And I called her too, just being like, thank you so much. Like, I can't believe
Yeah.
I have your blessing like this. That's
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
What an amazing potential, like, you know, future mother-in-law.
Yeah. I'm lucky. Most of them
Yeah,
I feel like are
very.
monsters.
Yeah, you hear some stories. I'm lucky too, but it can be scary out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially because he's like the only son. His family's Jewish.
Oh
It's,
God,
like,
yeah.
Very solely focused.
Mhm. As a future mother-in-law, who has a Jewish son, I am scared for whoever he marries.
Yeah. The judgment's gonna be crazy.
Terrified. Yeah, terrified. So for anyone listening who doesn't know you guys, what is your current relationship status? You kind of alluded to having partners, but tell us.
I'm engaged.
She's
I get
engaged.
married in August. I'm so excited, and I couldn't be more like excited about my partner.
Yeah.
How long
honestly.
have you guys been together?
3 years.
Mhm.
I've had some crazy relationships though prior. I'm gonna say about like 12 other serious relationships that lasted anywhere between like a year to 2 years, which is
Mhm.
wild. So when I met Michael, I kind of knew everything already by that time that I was like, I absolutely don't want this.
Right.
And he checked off every box.
That's amazing. And I have so many questions before we move on to Leah. 12 relationships?
Like around there, yeah.
Okay. So are you like a serial monogamous?
Yes. And I
Yeah.
honestly feel like I'm like Baskin Robbins, 31 flavors. Like each
Mhm.
relationship was so like wildly different.
Right.
Yes.
Well, because you just turned 30. So what does that mean the first one was?
I feel like it was like ever since we were even in like, not like after middle school. I'm going to say that's more of a serious relationship,
Mhm.
like high school
Right.
early era
Yeah.
Okay. Got
and
it.
forward. I was never someone that like really like slept around. Like I was always someone who was just like, I love consistency with
Mhm.
any relationship that I have. And I was also I went to ASU, which is a really big party school. And I was definitely like afraid of just STIs going around school and
right.
everything. So yeah, it was just, I knew I was going to be a serial dater from the get-go.
Yeah. What is Michael's birthday, by the way?
He's September 14th.
Okay. Virgo and a Taurus.
Yes.
Match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Love that. Leah, tell us.
So my boyfriend's name is Kevin, and we've
Mhm.
been together for 5 years.
Mhm.
We met on Hinge, so I hope that Hinge will someday sponsor our
Say
wedding.
about it.
And I'm actually 4 years older than him.
Wow.
Yes, when I matched with him on Hinge in San Diego, I was like, I think his profile is messed up. Like, there's no way this guy is 21 because I was 24 at the time. So I guess I'm like 3.5 years older. I was like, there's no way. And then when we went out to dinner, he was like, yeah, I'm 21. And we both got so drunk and literally like we never stopped hanging out since that day. So I love him.
Amen.
He's
Love
a good
Kevin.
boy.
You. When
Yeah.
is his birthday?
August 4th.
Oh, a Leo.
Yes, a Leo.
Love that. He has the
Yeah.
same birthday as Obama.
Yeah, and something else too.
Whoa.
And my friend
Yes, a
Kyle
few
Hayes.
people. And your friend?
My friend Kyle Hayes has an August 4th
There
birthday
you go.
too. Yeah.
Shout out
Good
Kyle.
people. Born on
Yeah.
August 4th. I love that. And so you guys have been together for 5 years.
Yes.
And you're 29.
Yes.
And so he is.
He's 26.
26. I'm like, thank you for
Yes.
doing
It's a lot
that
of
math
math.
that I
He's
should have figured
turning
out.
27 this August.
Mhm.
August.
And do you have conversations about marriage? But
Yeah.
he's young.
He's
and that's
young.
obviously like a huge part of why
Yes.
you're not
I will-
potentially.
Yeah,
you
and
know.
honestly, like we've had it. We both know. We talk about it all the time. Like we know we're gonna get married one day. Personally, I'm not in a rush. Like
Yeah.
I know that he's my person. If he proposed to me tomorrow, obviously I would say yes. But I feel like with everything going on, like it's not my number one like thing that I'm thinking about right now. And I know that we'll end up together. So like
Mhm.
for me, I just enjoy his company and I love him and it will happen when it happens.
Yeah.
Kevin's also like a rare breed. Like I love
Right.
him so much, and it's actually the first person I think that you've dated that I've actually genuinely liked. More than liked. Like I
Yeah.
genuinely have so much heart for him, and he grew
Mhm.
up in Hawaii, and that lifestyle, his upbringing was so different from our own, and he's
Right.
very mature.
Yes. He's more mature than I am. I swear to God.
Well, I love that. And I have questions about like, meeting someone when they're 21. And
Mhm.
so to contrast that, Tori, how old was Michael when you guys met?
Oh God,
He's
3
2 years,
ago.
1 year older or 2 years older than us.
So he
He's
was
2
like,
years.
he was like
technically.
29.
Yes.
Okay. So it's really interesting. So meeting your partner at 29, when he's 29, and meeting your partner when he's 21, those are totally different men.
Yeah.
Like it's insane.
But they get along so well.
No,
It's so
of
funny.
course,
Yeah.
right? But I think what I find so interesting about those two ages is, well, also because I met, not technically, I knew him, but my partner when he was 29 too.
Mhm.
And I think about, when I was 21, I
Yeah.
think about the guys that I was around when I was 21.
Yeah.
And it's like you've basically
We've
like
seen so
built,
much.
you've like helped build this man.
Yeah.
Whereas you kind of like found the man already basically built, which I find so interesting. Like
Yeah.
what have you noticed from when Kevin was 21 to him being 26 now?
I think his drive, his work ethic has always been there, but just seeing him kind of develop into like that, he's really driven, and I love that he is. But he really never acted like a young, like I just feel like he was never like, I don't know. You would think
Kevin like didn't need development.
No.
Like Kevin already came like pre-established.
Yeah, like you didn't have to teach him how to be a boyfriend, how to be
he was really amazing, like from the start. Like I really, like you think of a 21-year-old guy now that I'm like, I'm almost 30. I'm just like, geez, like I can't even imagine. But he wasn't like a party animal. He wasn't like a typical, like, I don't know,
I would say
21-year-old San Diego dude. He was just different.
Our dynamic grew more from Kevin being 21 to now than Kevin growing from 21 to now.
Right.
Yeah, he's because we started dating in 2019, which was a year after we had launched the brand, and so like.
He's really seen it all.
He's really seen it all. And even at times when her and I weren't getting along and we were having a lot of struggles in our business and personal relationship, he would always give me this advice. Like, I don't even want to cry, but think about it, it's like crazy. He'd be like, you love her so much. Like, he wouldn't ever talk shit. Like, he'd always be like, here's how you got to fix it. Like, you got to fix that relationship. Yep. Why am I getting emotional?
It's okay. It's okay. The hangover's hitting.
It is.
Let it come to you.
And I feel like I really loved that in a partner instead of somebody like trying to like drag another person that I love down. He was like trying to he's like giving me ways that
he's trying to always make it better. Like he never, I like how you said that. Like he's not someone either to like talk shit. Like Michael, I love you. You grew up in Beverly Hills, but like sometimes if I really want to talk shit with Michael, we will talk our shit.
That's fun. That's fun. Sometimes I wish Kevin would talk shit.
Yeah,
I'm like,
100%.
Come on.
I'm so happy that you said that because that is such a green flag in a partner, someone who is advocating for the people that you love and not like ready to unload even if they have, feelings like negative feelings about them, they don't need to share them. If the goal is for you to get along with that person, is for that person to be good in your life. Like even if you have a sibling and like you're fighting with your sibling, I always think it's so important for your partner to be on your sibling's side if they can, you know?
You need to be taught a lesson too sometimes.
Exactly.
Like, that's something I will
for
say.
sure. And that's the thing too. Like he wouldn't like just be on my side if I was wrong, you know? So that always helps me also like kind of see a better side of like not wanting to like when we were going through some shit, So like him being like reminding me like how much like he's like you love her so much, like you guys need to fix this. Like that made me like kind of forget everything like that was even bothering me.
I will say sometimes, Leah, don't kill me, but like Kevin and I will just like
oh my God,
slowly gang up on like very bad jokes with Leah.
They gang up on me. It's so annoying. No, I literally was talking about this with him like the other month. I was like, if I don't want to hang out with you guys anymore because you guys just gang up on me.
That's really cute though. I love that.
It is a really good dynamic. I feel like between the four of us especially, it's been really nice to have that in particular. Just it's like we have our own little like family.
Yeah.
That's great. Wait, and I have to ask you, Tori, I don't know if you said your religion, but I'm so curious because you're marrying someone who's Jewish. Are you converting?
So I've converted.
Congratulations. Welcome to the tribe.
Thank you. My dad's side growing up was always Jewish, but in Jewish religion, if your mom isn't Jewish, then you're not considered Jewish as well. And it was really important for Michael's family to have our kids raised Jewish. And I kind of just like immediately defaulted to that, like in the best way ever, because I was like, it makes me definitely think of my dad's dad, who I was really close with. And it has like this like I have a new like spiritual connection with family members that have passed, but it makes me just feel really good inside having something to believe in.
I love that. I want to hear about Boys Lie because first of all, I was watching Vanderpump Rules literally like the most recent episode, and Katie was wearing
the Boys Lie shirt. Yeah,
I love it. And I was like, these are my girls, my new girls. So
oh my God, we're gonna be recording. Actually, Watch What Happens Live. We're bartending it with Katie and Ariana. So tomorrow,
so excited,
so nervous.
I know, I am anxious.
It's gonna be amazing. And I was watching another episode because as we talked about before this, I watch my Watch What Happens lives on the weekends. It's my weekend activity. And there was there were the dance moms were bartending.
Oh, yeah.
Like you know what I'm talking
Yes.
about?
Yeah.
And they got very involved in the episode. And I was like, I want this for
Interesting.
Tori and Leah.
I
Like, they
pray.
were
Yeah.
very involved in
We're-
the episode.
We were talking about that last night. We were watching a few. When we were in the Hamptons, because I was saying I've watched a bunch, and like sometimes he will speak to the bartenders, and
Mhm.
sometimes he doesn't. Like it really depends. Either way, like the opportunity is so insane, and I'm so excited. I hope he speaks to us.
I have a feeling that he's gonna like you guys. Also, he's a Gemini. So
Oh,
you have that
Ooh.
common. So you use that to your advantage. Be like, oh my God, my fellow Gemini.
Okay,
I
will.
love that. I'm excited to meet the God himself,
I
Andy
know.
Cohen.
God himself. So when I asked everyone to write in questions for you guys, the first question that came in, and this is so funny, and I'm sure you get this all the time, was who hurt them?
Where do we start?
And I was dying. And I was like, that's a perfect segue to like the genesis of this,
Yeah.
this clothing brand. How did it come to be? Obviously, you guys didn't meet through this business. You were friends first. So give
Yeah.
us a little backstory.
Do you want to start the Mary Kate and
Yeah.
Ashley Olsen pitch? Or should I?
I'll start, but I don't want to do the typical like pitch that we usually do because I think
Okay.
it's good to like kind of really get into the nitty gritty here.
Mm.
So we both grew up in Wayne, Pennsylvania, and at the time when we ended up both going to college, she went to ASU, I went to Boulder, but at the time, I was dating somebody who went to ASU, and her boyfriend and my boyfriend were best friends, and so she would always be at their house.
My boyfriend at the time had followed me to school. which I begged
Yeah.
him and pleaded him not to do, but he did it anyways.
Mhm.
And my relationship at the time was super, super toxic. And when Leah would visit, she got to see
I noticed
that.
it. Yeah, I could
and-
hear it on the phone sometimes too, and I'd call my boyfriend at the time.
She became someone that I had been able to like confide in so consistently about that. And it was kind of crazy because we had known each other growing up since like 11 or 12 years
Yeah.
old, but we were never really close until our freshman year of college. And after we both had dumped these guys that were besties, we became best friends. And that relationship kind of flourished, and we got to see each other go through some really, really high highs and some super low lows between
Yes.
new people that we were seeing. Again, I was like a serial dater at the time.
Mhm.
Leah had some really wild experiences. And one night we got really drunk in
Here
a
in
fire
New York.
station here in New York. And we were screaming boys lie basically to the streets. And we were like, why don't we do something with this? And the next morning I woke up with a horrible hangover, and I checked like to see if it was trademarked, and it wasn't. So I was like, let's go for it. Like, what do we have to lose?
Yeah, we it was just like our mantra. It was just something we would say all the time. Again, like we dated a bunch of people, saw each other go through heartbreaks. Some of them were worse than others, and let's just make this very clear too. Boys Lie is not based on the two men that
Not at
No,
all.
no, they do not get this.
they do not know, and we've heard through the
Mm-mm.
grapevine. It's
That
really
they
funny.
think
That's like their claim to fame, and
Oh,
it's the
God.
boyfriends from college.
Their only milestone in their
Sure.
life. It's
That's
so
not who
sad.
hurt us. We broke up with them. Sorry, no offense.
Yeah.
Hope you're doing
they-
well.
They weren't
but-
it. They weren't the peak.
No,
They were not
And
the
how
peak.
dare they try to
How
take
dare
credit?
they?
How dare they?
We have a few
Shame
people
on
like
you.
that, I feel like, that have done
Mhm.
that. Because
Yeah.
breakups in general, like it hasn't just been breakups with like our significant others that we've witnessed, right? Like
right.
we've witnessed each other break up with friends
Mhm.
even. And that
Mhm.
heartbreak is entirely different.
Yeah.
Seeing again some of our relatives even pass away, like that's a different type of heartbreak as well. So Boys Lie was never meant as like fuck boys. Like yes, it did
Mhm.
fit the void right there. But getting ready together and going out and building kind of confidence, it was just something we kind of like chanted our cheers back and forth to
Yeah.
each other.
Right.
And that's
I
how it was built.
I also love that it's boys lie and not men lie.
Right. That's
Because
what-
men don't lie.
Yeah, there you
Exactly.
go.
Exactly.
But
Boys
boys
lie,
do.
men don't. Yeah.
Mhm.
We're
That's
lucky
how
we're
we
dating
separate
men.
Yeah.
Men from the boys, guys.
Yeah.
What was the hardest challenge to overcome when creating the brand? I mean, I imagine there's so like you have to raise money, you have to go out to investors, you have to find a place to manufacture stuff, make sure it's not like a sus place.
I think there's so.
Do you wanna-
there's so many?
I can
ways. If you
like
wanna
name
start,
a
yeah.
couple. We had raised funds through friends and family, and we got
Mhm.
really lucky that we had support there. And basically, as funds were running out, we were in cosmetics. I was working for a private label manufacturer at the time, and I was like, oh, since I already manufacture and white label for cosmetics, let's just start a brand. If you look at Pat McGrath when she had first started. She had these like bomber jackets that said Pat McGrath on it. And we thought it was a great idea to have a couple of apparel pieces with the makeup line as merch because you could be wearing red lipstick, red nail polish. You don't really need to know what brand it is. So in order to get the name out there, we're like, yeah, let's just sell 2 hoodies. The hoodies kept hitting and we kept getting people to reaching out, being like, can we have another hoodie? Can we do that? Or can we get a hoodie? Whatever. But the makeup wouldn't sell really at all. And so the business is failing. Our relationship in general, like it's tough because Leah had just met Kevin. I was going through a really tough time finding out my mom was sick and our business was failing. And we were kind of like torn apart to a certain degree.
We were like, it was just like we were in different phases, not phases, but just different like emotional phases of life. Like I was falling in love when all this was happening and her heart was breaking. So it was like total opposites. And at the same time, our business was failing. So it was like a complete mind fuck, to be completely honest. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's okay to curse, but so that like learning how to figure out a way to communicate properly is like really like, it sounds like it should be an easy thing, but like it's really complicated, especially when it's so you love somebody so much too. And
it's so hard to tell someone that you care about so much how you feel versus like a random stranger on the street. And I think Gigi Hadid, in the height of her breakup with Tyler Cameron, one day walked out in New York City and it was a huge paparazzi moment and the clothing just exploded. So our business, we pivoted into clothing. It continued on, COVID hit, and then it just boomed. And there was a really weird year period where Leah and I, even though our business was booming, we like really didn't speak that much. And it wasn't until I started doing therapy and like some self-work that I was like, we need to nail this in the head because if we don't, we'll lose our friendship and just only have this really weird teetering business relationship. And that will never make the business succeed.
That was probably what, 2020? I think that was like when we had this like really crazy talk. Like I'll never forget.
Yeah, it was a monumental conversation between the two of us. But
yeah,
I was just like, these are the things that I'm hurting from. I don't want to like also take you off of your cloud 9 romance, but as your best friend, I am hurting and I need your support. And that communication, when the second I feel like that conversation was streamlined, is like even our business like shifted almost again, and it continued to flourish. It was a really wild rodeo.
Took a lot of weight off of everything. Like I think that had been holding us down for maybe a year.
Yeah.
So once we had that conversation, I feel like it's like we always say this, but you know, it's like now we just really understand each other. It's a very unique relationship. Like not everybody can go into business with their best friend. Like, and we wouldn't even recommend
I wouldn't recommend it for anyone.
Yeah.
It's not something that can be done all the time. And like our relationship is extremely unique. And I think we just really learned like she says, like, I can tell what type of mood you're in by the way that you walk into a room or the way you're breathing, which is just like the truth. So I don't know.
It's very strange. I don't even need to see Leah. Like I can be pulling up in a car in her driveway and I'm like, I just feel like either she's happy today or sad today. And I just know it's like so strange. Yeah. And sometimes we'll also like show up to the office in the same exact outfit. Yeah. Like that's how
telepathy or something.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
Very strange.
I love that. I love that you were able to work through your friendship issues because that's so important.
100%.
Like, how do you know when you should confront a friend about things or
I think
not?
Anytime you feel like sick over something and you have to literally ask someone for advice to be like, do I like say this to her? Or is this like not even worth my time? If you even have to relay that and waste your breath on even saying that to someone else, you need to talk to your friend.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
And the thing is like she's confrontational and I'm not. Like I don't enjoy going up to her and be like, hey, can we talk about this? Like I just don't like it, but she is that way. So it's honestly kind of a good thing because I think if we were also both confrontational or both not, it wouldn't be an equal balance.
One would be like overly defensive. The other.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't.
Yeah. You need that in any relationship.
Yeah.
Like I'm the confrontational one in my romantic relationship. And it's so important.
Yeah.
Because if I wasn't, then we wouldn't have really.
It would be like silence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody asked this, and I'm curious what you guys have to say. They said they're dating a guy with a full roster. He says his goal is to find a girlfriend. Stick it out or setting yourself up for failure?
You're setting yourself up for failure because if
failure.
he has a full roster, that shit's not going away.
Yeah.
He needs to mature enough to get rid of that roster and say, like, you are the only one for me.
I agree. And I don't want to butcher her theory because I love her, but Tinks's box theory I think is so true. And essentially what it is like when a guy starts to date you, he knows if he wants to actually take it or be serious with you or not. He's not going to change his mind whether you sleep with him on the first date or you don't, or he takes you on 5 more dates and then you sleep with him. Like he's not going to change his mind on that. So
Men
like,
are so simple.
yeah,
It's
they're
like,
so
this is
simple.
happening or it's not happening.
If they care, they'll try. If they don't, they won't. And so if he hasn't tried already and he's telling you he has a roster, if you start to develop feelings for this guy, it's over.
If he's telling you he has a roster, that's a problem with
yeah,
itself.
also gross.
Yeah.
If he's telling you his a roster, I agree. He's trash.
Yeah.
I do. And by the way, shout out Tinks. Love her, a friend of mine too. I sometimes feel like there are exceptions
You
to
do?
that theory.
I'd love to hear.
I just like my husband and I are kind of an exception.
Oh,
like
wow.
we knew each other before. And we then kind of ran into each other and we went out. But he definitely thought that I was just gonna be like fun hookup.
Oh.
And that ended up being because he just didn't know anything about my personality.
Yeah.
He was just like physically attracted.
Mhm.
And then when he knew my personality, he was like more attracted, which I think it could go the opposite way too, obviously.
Yeah.
But but he didn't go into it being like, this is my wife.
Interesting.
But I
know?
think
Yeah.
that's the
But
best way
okay.
to do it because
Yeah.
my situation, like I had just been freshly broken up with someone who lived with me
Mhm.
for a year and a half. And we dated like for fun and shits and giggles, like very openly for like 5 months before we were really like, wait a second, we're actually like really enjoying each other's company.
Right,
Let's get really
right.
serious here about
Yeah.
what we're doing.
Yeah. And I think there are those exceptions, but maybe it's exactly what that is. It's an exception.
But he like
Yeah.
knew, he said. I
Yeah.
didn't
right.
like at first.
Yeah, I could tell he knew.
I was very just skeptical again when you get out of relationship. You're
Right.
like, I need some free time
Yeah.
for
Uh-huh.
me to like just hit the streets. And
Yeah.
Be silly.
Yeah. I also think it's better when the guy knows
Yeah.
Agreed.
and you don't really.
It gives
did
you a different
hear-
type of confidence.
No, I did hear that the key to a very successful and long-lasting marriage is that he always loves you just a
Yep.
tiny bit more than you love
Mhm.
him.
Exactly.
That's a sweet thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that.
It's so real. Yeah. My grandma like told me that years like when I was like
Yeah.
1, she like told me that.
I
That's so
agree with that.
sweet.
It's so true.
My grandma was like, always have a spare. And I was like, Grandma, what are you doing?
That's amazing. Okay, we're gonna get into some fun rapid fire poll questions.
Okay.
We do this on our Instagram, and I think that you guys will have some really good answers. So let's see. They're very random.
I hope.
New husband lingers on ex-fling's Instagram story with her new man. Red flag, or you're reading into it?
Red flag.
I agree, red flag.
I don't care if men are like simple-minded. It's still the fact that
Lingering?
you're like lingering checking. That's weird. I don't like that.
pausing on the story. Why do you care to look? So you know what I mean. I think that's a
Mm.
little. So it's maybe it's not a red flag, but it's definitely like it's an in between orange flag or something.
It would make me feel
Yellow?
uncomfortable. I wouldn't like it.
Caution flag.
Are both of your men on social media?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's because
If I saw Kevin doing that, I'd be like, "What are you doing?"
right. It's like hard for me to contextualize this one because my husband's not on
Oh,
Instagram.
That's so nice.
which is so nice. But I'm like, if he did, I don't know.
Every
that-
girl
that it
stalks
would
their
mean anything.
ex. It's
Right.
more so like the lingering part.
Right,
that
the linger.
Like how long are we
Right.
talking here?
And how
Right.
often are you seeing this?
That's
if
what
it's
I
like
mean, like-
one time and he's doing it right in front of you. If you're laying in bed together and you're both looking at his phone, then maybe he doesn't. Maybe it's not like that because I don't know. It just really depends. I just still think it's like a little bit uncomfortable.
word
and I think it might be a
Lingering
some sort
gives
of
too much
flag.
consistency for me to feel confident in.
I hear you.
That.
A part of me is like, because he's doing it in front of you,
right.
it
Is it
means
safe?
nothing.
Or just ask him
Do you know
about
what I'm
it.
saying? Though?
Yeah.
Like if he were doing it
shady,
you
and you just
weren't
caught him,
there,
and you were like, "What the fuck?"
then that's bad. But because he's doing it in front of you means it's
Yeah.
the first time he's seen this picture.
Yeah. Honestly, maybe just ask him if you see it happen again. Just be like, why are you like pausing on her?
Yeah, I'd be like,
photo?
look at that little linger moment.
Right.
We just
Yeah,
had
make a
here.
joke.
Like,
if it wasn't
what was
rephrased,
that?
yeah. I think if
Yeah.
it wasn't like phrased or coined as like lingering, I think if it
Right.
was like, oh, he like glances at this person's thing, it's kind of weird. It's his ex. Like I'd be like, oh, like because
Yeah.
I'll see like randomly an ex photo pop up, and I'll be like, ugh.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. How often does your partner fart in front of you? Never, occasionally, or all the time?
All the time.
Never.
Oh my God.
Really?
So we'll like make jokes because both of us are super poop shy.
Yeah, you both are. It's so funny.
And like he'll like there's been a couple times where we both obviously like been like fuck it, like whatever, and we'll be like, what was that? And he'll be like, it was the dogs. It was the dogs. Like
Yeah,
we'll make fun of
Have a stomach ache and you're like in bed. Are you just gonna like hold it in?
it. Fuck no.
Oh.
Oh my god.
So then what are you
no.
going to do?
We'll literally say something that's so like outlandish where it's like, I'm gonna go check the mail, and it could be like 12 a.m. and I'm like,
Oh my
okay, so he's gonna go
God.
take a
But
shit.
you're getting out of bed. Okay, but what if it's just a fart? Like you're not going to let it.
He'll let it like again,
She
like
won't let it rip.
Yeah.
it depends. But like he'll for instance, again, we'll make up this like crazy excuse being like, oh, barking tree frog, or like, oh, like we definitely like jokingly deny it, even though we know.
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
going
yeah.
on.
My husband will do that sometimes. He'll be like, it's the floorboard.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do too. I'm like, did you hear that dog bark? Or
Yeah.
I've seen you and Kevin just rip in
Yeah,
front
we
of
don't-
each
No,
other.
I rip it.
Yeah,
as
we don't
well. I
care.
rip it as well. But I think that like men need to do this. He will ask me permission to rip it because
Yes.
it's a different
Sometimes
smell.
it's annoying.
No, not even annoying. It's a different
Oh, he knows
smell
his
when it
tummy
comes from a
hurts.
man
Oh,
than
I
from
agree.
a woman. You
That's
know,
nice.
like
that's nice to
there
ask.
are not smells that we could produce that they
Yeah, it's
have an easy
disgusting.
time producing, and it's deadly.
I agree.
You're planning on eloping, but going to throw a party after to celebrate. Since you're eloping, is it socially acceptable to have a bridal shower or weird and greedy since you're not having a wedding?
I think I say do what you want.
Yeah, everyone's celebrations are to each their own.
Yeah.
Like you make your own traditions.
Yeah,
I agree.
So do whatever you
Yeah,
want.
do what makes you happy. If you want to have one, have one.
Mm-hmm. Your boyfriend's going to his girlfriend, his like friend that's a girl's lake house for the weekend with a group of friends he's known forever. You don't get the invite, but you're not close with those girls. Red flag or no big
Red
deal?
flag.
Yeah, red flag.
The
She should be
girl-
inviting
the-
you.
Best, we always talk about this, the best girlfriend of your man's, always there's going to be something, like no matter what it
Yeah.
is, even if you get
Mhm.
along with her super, super well, there's always just this small little like thin barrier that's invisible that's like a little
Always
bit
a little
questionable. You're just like,
uncomfortable,
Yeah, well, the barrier is that she shouldn't exist.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you're not getting invited to that lake,
That's
house,
weird to me.
he
You should
be
Yeah.
riding for you and
Yeah,
being like, my girlfriend's
totally.
coming.
Yeah,
or
no.
you should be like, I'm not going, we're a package deal. Like,
right,
And
right.
I wouldn't personally, like, if I were in that man's shoes right now and Kevin weren't invited, I'd be like, well, I'm not fucking going.
yeah.
right. It's disrespectful.
Yeah,
It's like,
I feel like
whatever.
it's so disrespectful.
I think that my husband can totally have friends that are girls.
Yeah.
I don't think he has any need for a best friend that's a girl.
No.
That's a difference.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
yeah. My boyfriend has a best friend that's a girl.
But it
They
seems
don't
like
talk as much anymore, I think. Yeah.
but it seems like your boyfriend is just like salt of the earth. Like let's
she's
protect
the
him at all
problem.
costs.
She's not threatening. Like
And
I would
yeah,
say,
and we're
that
not
she's
threatened by her.
threatening.
Mhm. Do you prefer sweet apples or tart apples?
I don't really like apples.
I like
Mm.
sweet. I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm more
How
of
about
like
you?
the honey apple.
I'm
crisp.
allergic to apples.
Oh,
It's
no.
such a bummer. I know
Oh.
the skin of the fruit.
I'm
Oh,
allergic
that
to
sucks.
strawberries, like the
Really?
seeds, and it's the only fruit on the outside that has like the seeds all over.
Yeah,
the
that's so
seeds.
hard.
Take
I
off the
love
seeds.
strawberries.
You can
Is
just
it
shave
cool or not cool to remove someone's stuff from the dryer if it's done and you need it, like in a public or like a
Oh, if
building
it's
dryer?
dry, depends on if you know the person, I'd say. I mean, or, well,
I'd be
don't know
upset if
them.
you touch my shit. I feel like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I remember in my college dorm, it was kind of set up
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I would just set a timer to be like, my shit's done. So
Yeah,
I'd make sure that that would
right.
never happen.
yeah,
Right.
I
so
wouldn't be
maybe it's on
happy.
you if that does happen.
Yeah,
Right.
Why are you
kinda.
leaving your stuff in a communal place?
And knowing that it's gonna be like times up.
Agreed.
Do you think girls who date guys who everyone thinks are gay realize that people think that? Yes, of course, or no, obviously.
Yeah,
not.
they
Yeah.
definitely know.
You think?
Yeah, because I have a good friend
Well-
of mine, and she's heard through the grapevine that other people have whispered that down the lane. But
Mhm.
sometimes I feel like guys are.
I'm like, who?
I think some guys can be really comfortable, and I love that about them, to be a little bit femme. I don't know what it is. There's something about that is attractive to me, where it's like Michael will ask me like, how is, not that that's gay at all, but like what his outfit, if it looks good or not, or something like that. And I love that. I don't know if that's them, but
maybe
No,
some
I
girls
don't
also
think
just
so,
really
but-
like femme guys,
Right.
And so like maybe the girls that do hear like, oh, people
Right,
think
like,
your
they don't
boyfriend's gay,
mind.
they don't care because that's the type of guy they like.
or it feels more like a best friend too.
Yeah. I was gonna say Michael's also from Beverly Hills, and
Yeah.
that's like a different kind of guy. That like,
Yeah.
you know.
Different animal.
You send a bride that like you're friends with, but obviously not friends enough to be on The Bachelorette, on her Bachelorette a Venmo for drinks, and she doesn't respond at all. Right to be annoyed or get over it because she's partying.
Like send her money for drinks.
Get over it.
Get over it. She's partying.
You sent someone money, like don't expect anything in return. I don't know.
Right, like
I
it's
think-
a Venmo.
And sometimes if you're like drunk and I'm sure she's like, oh my God, that's so sweet. And then just forgot, like just give it time. I'm sure the next time you see her, hopefully she would say
Right,
thanks. If she
right,
doesn't, then
definitely.
like, well, just don't do it again.
If you're close with your cousins, like you hang out regularly outside of family events, do you talk about sex or is that off limits?
No, I don't talk about sex with my cousins. I feel like that's weird.
I don't really like talk to my cousins often.
Yeah.
I would prefer not to.
Do you expect the man to clean you up with a towel after they finish?
Yes.
100%.
100%.
It's kind of like the polite thing to do, at least to offer. Like be like, hey, oh my
bring
gosh.
me the towel. You don't need to do everything. But like, well, it depends on.
Normally I'll just like run to
Depends
the
on where it
shower. I feel like,
Yeah,
like I'm just
yeah.
like, ugh, I'm just gonna rinse this off.
Right. Is it weird to engrave your initials in a watch you're giving to your husband as a gift?
No.
It's very much like marking your territory.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it's like you are making the gift about you all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But I feel like watches are like heirlooms.
Yeah.
So I feel like if it's your husband, right, and you have kids, that watch is going to be handed down over and over and over again.
Interesting.
And to me, I think that's an admirable thing with watches. I always consider them heirlooms. I don't know why, but that's
No, I agree with you. But if your husband is the kind of guy who's like a watch guy who likes to sell and get new watches, then you're
that's a
kind of
different
screwing
story.
him over.
I mean something that's like a little bit more like
Right,
niche,
like
like a Daytona of some sort.
Oh, oops. I can't find the last one. Okay, hold on. I'm pulling it back up. Okay. Do you actually care if your friends post a story for your birthday? Yes or no?
No.
I think we need to stop doing this.
Yeah. Well, as long as you're texting me something super nice, then I don't really care. You don't need to post me on your story.
I honestly like don't care enough. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm definitely someone who's like post whatever, comment whatever, text
Right.
me, call me. I'm unbothered.
But I
Yeah.
think like we right now need to do a PSA
Yeah.
to all people.
I don't do it for other people.
I only do it for her.
But
Yeah.
you never have to do it ever again anymore,
Yeah.
ladies.
I think people feel pressure to do it because it's always being done too. So
Right,
it's like if you
right.
don't, you could get looked at like an asshole.
Totally.
But meanwhile, the person like me, for example, like I wouldn't even really care. Like one picture, even totally fine.
I just do it
zero
for
pictures, fine.
fun.
Yeah.
If it's again, it has to be such a close friend of mine for me to be like,
Right.
Kablang, happy birthday. Here's a
Yeah.
bunch of
Yeah,
million photos
yeah.
of us. Again, like you're special to me. Like that's someone
Yeah.
who I would do it
No,
for.
I mean, if you guys want to do it for
Yeah, yeah.
But if anyone listening thinks that I would be upset, I'm telling you right now,
Yeah.
I'm not mad.
I'm
Yeah,
not mad
I'm
at you
not
a little
either.
bit.
Please don't feel that I care because I don't. I
totally
swear.
agree.
Yeah.
It
Don't
is
even
like a
feel
pressure thing.
obligated to like
Mhm.
text me either. It's
No, text me for sure.
Oh,
Text me. Are you
okay.
kidding?
Yeah, text me
no,
something
you
nice.
better acknowledge it.
Oh,
but
I don't.
but I did
care.
see a TikTok the other day that was like, can we just stop telling people happy birthday at all? Like, what if my dryer broke that day? Like, what if my dishwasher broke down? Like, it's just 24 hours. Like, what if I missed your birthday? Is it
Yeah.
okay? It needs to be okay.
You know what's
Yeah,
interesting? I consider birthdays New Year's. Like I think January 1st is so overrated, or like that 31st
Mhm.
to the 1st. Like I think birthdays are your New Year. So rather than maybe saying happy birthday, say happy New Year.
That's
They'd
cute.
probably be like, what?
Yeah.
Cute.
It's my birthday.
Really
Thank
throw
you.
like them for a loop.
No, I love
Yeah.
that. I do like a this is your year a lot of the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
you start fresh again
mhm,
almost. New
mhm.
year, new you.
Pump them up.
Yeah.
Best year yet
I
coming your
still feel
way.
the same, but like
Yeah.
30s are great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to
It's
be
true.
30.
Oh my God. 30s are the best.
20s are really like a lost pup.
20s
Lost.
Lost.
Yeah.
No one talks about that enough. I think like your 20s are so hard. Like
so hard.
it honestly like maybe I'd rather be 10 to 10 to turning 20 rather than 20 to 30, just because those years were like, I mean, they're amazing years, but you're finding yourself and you're growing into, I think, into the person that you will be for the rest of your life, but they're really, really hard.
Right. They're formative. Like you really have to go through it to get to your 30s.
Yeah.
That's the reward.
21 to 25 era. Couldn't be more lost. Couldn't be.
No, I agree. Like
So
27 through 29, because I'm only 29. Like that hasn't been so bad.
Yeah.
But up until that point, it was hard.
Yeah. That checks out for
Yeah.
sure. This has been so much fun.
So
Before
fun.
we leave, can you guys leave us with a quote or piece of advice?
Ooh.
Something that has like helped you throughout the years, or just something that you like?
Let me think.
Don't take things too seriously. And if you don't, then you'll always have fun. Just like Penny Lane said. If you always have fun, then you never get hurt.
Yeah.
What was the rest of that line?
Go to the record store and hang out with your friends. That's all
If you
I
ever
remember.
feel a little bit lonely, then go to the record store and visit your friends.
I guess what I've learned in my 20s, I'm not even 30 yet, but like you don't need to be like let go of the people that don't serve you. Like
That's a really good one.
I know it seems like it's the end of the world if you do lose a friend, but if someone is causing you more anxiety or more harm like in your mental than good, and they're making you feel bad, I feel like it's okay to let them go, but it's really hard to do that in the moment.
Yeah.
I'd also say just like don't make the same mistakes twice.
Yeah.
Like if
Or
you
try not to.
try not to. But
Sometimes
if
it
you
happens.
know like what you did was like an accident, or like you know that you're allowing a certain type of behavior, that's on you now. Like I feel like that's a choice you are making for yourself to feel comfortable in an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
Chug water before bed.
Yeah.
That's all.
What would you say?
I would say chug water in the morning, because
In
if
the
I chug water
morning,
before
yeah.
bed, I'm peeing all night.
Well, if you're drinking that night, and my boyfriend does, I always forget to do it, but he'll chug like so much water if he's drunk, and like then the next morning he's never hungover.
Wow, that's smart. Except how is he not peeing all night? I would be peeing all night.
I would be peeing.
Yeah.
also
Maybe he
all
is, and
night.
I'm just
It's hard.
passed out.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Mine would be if you're confused, they're not interested. It's my go-to.
So smart. So
That is a very smart. I wish
That
I
on a
took that
hoodie.
advice like when I was in my 20s.
Same. That's why I say it.
Yeah.
And my other one is Boys Lie, obviously.
Yeah. Men don't, though. Yeah.
Exactly. Where can everyone find you guys and follow you and order Boys Lie
Yeah.
and listen to your podcast?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're at Boys Lie on Instagram. You can listen to our podcast, also Boys Lie Podcast. Very easy.
Spotify and Apple. Our website is boyslieofficial.com. And then my ad is just at Leah O'Malley.
And I'm at Reptar, like from Rugrats, that fire breathing dragon. That's
Love it. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank
This was so
you.
fun.